it's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my channel, lovelies. Today I'll be continuing the series on my channel that deals with natal chart analysis, natal chart readings, and today I'll be doing one on Leonardo DiCaprio. I'll be speaking on his personality traits as well as his characteristic traits. I'll be speaking on how a lot of his placements have led to his success as well. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so, lovelies. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Also, please hit that like button because I know you guys will love this video. Last but not least, please make sure you share this video with everyone you know, whether it's your friends, your family members, your enemies, or anyone in general who loves Leonardo or loves natal chart analysis. Leonardo was born on November 11th, 1971, so this qualifies him to be a Scorpio. He's the type of person that has the drive to succeed and often has activities that take up a notch. He admires the relentless nature of others, and they have that nature as well. They're going to make sure that they achieve anything they put their mind into. They're also very intense, and they do have a complex nature. They have strong emotional reactions to a lot of situations, and sometimes they do have a difficult time verbalizing how they feel. They tend to be very quiet, and they tend to be very much to themselves, and they tend to be someone who loves to be around people, love to have relationships, and just loves to have fun. You know, they love to be challenged, and they just love to do things that are fun. So that describes him. Next up is his moon in Libra, and with this placement he tends to be very diplomatic and very charming. So that's why a lot of people like him, because he does have his diplomacy and charmingness from his Libra moon. He is someone who's very anxious and at times can be wishy-washy because, you know, Libras in any placement tend to like to see both sides of the situation. So that's why people can say they're wishy-washy. He tends to be someone who's very sociable. He hates being alone, and you always see him with a lot of people. He tends to be very creative, very gentle, very friendly. You do see that he's very friendly with people. He has a perfectionist streak, and he may be vain at times, and he may be appealing, tactful, a careful listener, even-tempered, a charmer, adaptable, and he may be self-indulgent and indecisive, but intelligent. Next up, lovelies, is his Mercury in Libra, and with this placement, he tends to be very harmonious when he speaks, and if you listen to him speak, he does have a voice that is very charming, and it's just very nice to hear. He's very verbally eloquent. He's very gentle and diplomatic in the way that he speaks, so he tries to bring unity anytime he speaks on something. He is maybe indecisive. He never likes to choose stuff. And he may be assertive, but not in a harsh way. He's someone who has a certain elegance about him. He is legal-minded, and that makes sense because of the balances. He is mildly enthusiastic. He loves to procrastinate about relationships, and he's the type of person who can see both sides of an issue. So if you want to get advice or be able to understand both sides, just know that you can come to him. Next up is his Venus in Scorpio, and with this placement, this third placement in Scorpio, it's going to make him have a stellium in Scorpio, so he's going to have a lot of Scorpio traits. He's someone who's very intense, and they come across as fearless. He has a strong willingness to commit to a relationship, so if he really loves you, he's in it for the long haul. Because it's a Scorpio Venus, and also it's a fixed sign, so they tend to be very loyal. He's the type of person who's like an all or nothing, and they may find it difficult to forgive a significant other or a friend who has really harmed them. He craves intimacy and loves deeply. He gives his partner his full attention. He has a need to control his partner at times or relationships. He wants to know every detail of his partner, but he doesn't like to tell his. He can be easily jealous and he can be explosive when upset, but he is someone who's very loyal and committed. So this is the third placement that makes him have a Scorpio stellium. I knew it was one placement because I knew that he had 3 or more Scorpio placements, but this is the one. So he has a Mars in Scorpio. It's a great placement because it is exalted in Scorpio, but really more exalted in Aries. Scorpio is ruled by both Mars and Pluto, and because of this placement, he is very ambitious, very diligent, and he's someone who's going to work as hard as he needs to make sure that anything he wants to do is accomplished. They are the type of person who is going to make sure they accomplish anything they put their minds to. They're going to get or do whatever they want by any means necessary. They are people who are going to make sure they use anything that they're good at to get what they want. So manipulation can be something that they use to get what they want and use it as a force to reckon with. Next up is his Jupiter in Pisces. It's a great placement because Pisces is ruled in Jupiter. And with this placement, he's very kind-hearted. He's very satisfied, and he's the type of person you would want around because they're very sweet and nice. He's also someone who may be a daydreamer because, Pisces does rule this planet, and Pisces, our lovely Pisces, do love to daydream. And it's okay because they're very much able to give us what we want. And he does at times is able to be easily influenced, so that's something people with this placement do need to work on. He also has a moral code that includes helping those who are less fortunate, so he wants to make sure that everyone is happy, everyone is okay, and if he has the money, the wealth, the resources to help someone, he most definitely is going to do that. And anyone with the Jupiter in Pisces, they tend to have that type of heart, and it's a great placement to have. Next up is his Saturn in Cancer. And this is an interesting placement because Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, so this would be a placement of detriment. However, he is the type of person that back their tendencies to avoid showing any kind of weakness. So they tend to not show who they are, and they tend to just be secretive or just hold back who they are as a good person to not get taken advantage of. And he is someone who is there for people who need help. He's very loving and kind. And even though Capricorn does rule this placement, it's a cardinal sign. Cancer is cardinal, so there is some leadership that comes with the Saturn in Cancer. So he may be a great leader. He may be someone who loves to treat people equally because, that's who he is as a Cancer. And he could be a great leader with this placement. Next up is his Uranus in Libra. So this makes him have his stellium in Libra. And he tends to always come up with new ideas and look at things in different ways. So he is someone who is very much free and loves to do things that other people may not want to do. He's very, maybe at times, unstable and unconventional in regards to relationships and emotional commitments. He is attracted to experiments in marriage and shared lifestyles. He loves personal freedom that is more important than having an emotional bond. He is someone who loves to look at art, aesthetics, and is attracted to bizarre, shocking things that are unusual. So freedom is something that really comes with this. Really comes with this placement. And that's why having another air sign is good in this placement to be with. Up next is his Neptune in Sagittarius, and he's someone that thrives on exciting, uplifting experiences and learning new things. This is something that makes sense, especially with him, because he is someone who just likes having fun. If you watch him, if you watch his adventures, he's just a fun person, and people love to be around him because he's a very uplifting person. He loves doing uplifting things and having uplifting experiences as well. He may be someone who is heavily involved in investigating and idolizing foreign and different intellectual systems and religious philosophies. And sometimes he will go into ideas that people may assume as very extreme, but he is the person who will be at the forefront of humanitarian attempts and make sure that he approves or improves the lot of those who needs help. And he is comfortable with the concept of a global village, so helping everybody. So since Leonardo DiCaprio was born between 1972 and 1984, he has a Pluto in Libra. So because of this, he knows all too well the hidden problems behind the social and worldly issues that go on. So he is someone that is a person that will change the time of things that maybe before people did not acknowledge. For example, the attitude towards marriage and interpersonal relationships. That's something that his generation or anyone with this placement probably do want to change and look into. There is a general fear and awe at the power inherent to making emotional commitments, and they're always emerged into this lightly. So looking into marriage or looking into problems that people look into, people with this placement know what the problem is. Next up is his North Node in Sagittarius, and in order for him to uncover hidden gifts and talents, he would need to have the reliance on intuition, prophetic abilities, and invisible guidance, speaking from higher consciousness, being able to develop a sense of freedom and adventure, direct communication free from censorship, trusting himself, spending time alone and in nature, patience, intuitive listening. Also, being able to free his mind and explore the horizons, learning the way of the spirit, connecting to nature, teaching and inspiring others to live a life of splendidness, giving up superficial connections in exchange for divine connections, focusing his energies on intellectual and spiritual pursuits, surrounding himself with people who support his newly reformed ways, and looking at life the way he does. So that's what he will need to accomplish. Next up is his Chiron in Aries, and this is actually one of the hardest Chirons to have, is Aries, because it has to deal with yourself, being wounded in yourself. Like the other ones, they also deal with things on the outside, but this has to do with your self-esteem and how you really look at yourself and how you believe whether you're good or not. So he may be someone who's not really into believing in himself, and he may like to compare himself with others, and he may be self-engrossed in a negative way. But in order for him to really heal this wound, he needs to move forward with love in himself, accepting that everyone is different and acknowledging his strengths and weaknesses, and knowing that if he really looks at his weaknesses, he can make it into a strength, or he can just focus on his strengths and be the strongest person he can be, and knowing that he's worth it and that he's very important and loved. So this is a placement that he can accomplish. Next up is his rising in Libra. He tends to be very pleasant and charismatic. He preserves peace to avoid conflict. He dislikes being alone. He is keen to fashion and self-aware of looks. He is softly persuasive and makes a good mediator. He has a tendency to pass blame to keep up a nice image sometimes. He appears friendly but can also be attached or shallow. He's very romantic and very gracious. He typically has many friends, and he does have a lot of friends. And he's usually someone who's very polite. If you look at his interviews, you will see that he's a polite person. He's very diplomatic. He is a peacekeeper, and at times he can be indecisive, and that's something that comes with a lot of Libra. And he could be easily distracted at times, and sometimes he could be a people pleaser. So this is a great placement, but it can have its downs. Last but not least, lovelies, is his midheaven in Cancer. And he's someone who's fully aware of the nuclear family and the struggles finding a belonging. And even though he is into acting, that's his role. If it weren't for that, he could have gotten actually a good job in taking care of people because he tends to be a person who loves to cater to people. He's very intuitive. He's able to find situations or look at situations on a deeper level. And he might have been able to go into childcare, education, pediatrics, therapies that deals with healing, anything that deals with intellect and helping others. That's something that he could have gone into, even though with this placement he's able to do that through his movies, and people are able to feel comfortable around him and just feel his presence through the screen of his lovingness and the type of caring person that he is. That's all I have for you lovelies today in regards to Leonardo DiCaprio's natal chart. Please let me know down below who else you guys would want me to do one on. Also, let me know, did you learn more about Leo? Did you get a better understanding as to who he is as a person? And also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Also, hit that like button, and please share this video with everyone you know. Last but not least, please make sure you support me through my social media accounts. Go follow, like, share through everything on the screen and through TikTok. Also, you can support me through my Etsy store and through my PayPal. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.